Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out one of the all-time rock classics. It is Fade to Black by Metallica, a hugely influential song. It was actually where I first realized how to use the major scale by studying Kirk's very first solo there when I was in my early teens. It was the song I wanted played at my funeral. I've got a little note in my practice journal about that. I mean, it was a huge song for me and lots of other people. In this particular lesson, I'm mostly going to be looking at the James Hetfield parts, and I'll do another lesson where we dissect some of the solos too. So let's get started with that classic intro. That is the intro. We're starting off here with a B power chord. First finger, second fret on the fifth string, third finger, fourth fret on the fourth string. We're going to play using alternate picking. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. We're playing the fifth string, fourth string, open G string. So make sure that third finger is lifted up enough to get that open G string ringing underneath it. So fifth string, fourth string, third, fourth, fifth, fourth. Then little finger goes down the fifth fret of the fifth string and we play fifth string, fourth string. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now it's exactly the same, but with the first finger off. So we're leaving the third finger down. Then first finger back on. Now we've got this little variation. Third finger is going to jump over to the fourth fret on the fifth string. First finger is going to cover the middle two strings at the second fret. We're going to play fifth string, fourth string, third string, fourth string, fifth string, fourth string, then lift off the third finger, play the open A, and then the note with the first finger, second fret on the fourth string. Okay, so real slow that whole section. I suspect most of you won't have too many problems playing that very first section. Just take it slow, make sure that your third finger isn't touching the G string. Where you start to have a little bit of fun is at the end of that, going into the next section is a little bit awkward. I played this in a band as a teenager and I always used to mangle my way through that one, just play an E chord. So if you get really stuck, you could play F to E and just play an F power chord to an E. So 1, 2, 3, 4, F chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into the new section. If you want to get it down properly, we're starting with an F power chord, first finger, first fret, thicker string, third finger, third fret on the fifth string, and we're playing the open D as well, and we play thicker string, fifth string, fourth string, and then the thicker string again. It's the first chord grip. The second one is now an awkward jump. Third finger going down the fourth fret of the fourth string, first finger barring strings 4 and 5 at the second fret, and we do that same pattern. So sixth string, fifth string, fourth string, and then back to the thicker string. That's already awkward. Remember, you want to try and not let too many other notes ring out as well. You're probably going to want to do a little bit of practice just jumping between those two. They're both unusual grips. Now we go to an E chord. So you jump to an E chord, you're going to play fifth string, fourth string, third string, back to the fifth string, fourth string, third string, second string, little finger goes down on the third fret of the second string. Okay, so that last section. Now, you could use lots of different picking. I find all down picks works well for me, but you could experiment yourself. Okay, you definitely want to just practice that nice and slow until you got the motions right. With any passages like that that are kind of physically awkward, you want to make sure that you get it right first of all. Don't practice it with mistakes and try and rush it ahead. Practice it real slow, get the notes right, and then set it to time. So even if it's just real slow, and try and iron out those transitions. What you don't want to do is go... It's very well, you'll get there, but it'll take a lot longer. So you really want to just learn the sections first of all, real slow, get the tempo consistent and play it in time, and then gradually speed it up. It is a tricky part. It's harder than the next part as well. So that's going to be the kind of rocky transition. If you are stuck, remember this here. It's kind of it's an F chord. Essentially, you can play F. This is actually an E chord with a G sharp bass. That's why I said you could play F, D, E, E7 if you wanted to get fancy. And then we're into the next section, which I think is one of the sweetest parts of this song. I really, really love this as a guitar part. It's lovely to play. It often gets called the fingerstyle section of the song, but it's not fingerstyle, it's played with a pick. You'll often see James playing it on electric guitar with a clean sound. Obviously, it sounds great on acoustic guitar. It's one of those things, again, where you want to spend a little bit of time practicing it really slowly and spend a bit of time thinking about the pick directions, which I'm going to talk with you about. But we're going to start off by looking at the chords. So the first chord you're going to need to get down is an A minor chord, and you lift off the first finger. You're going to strum through and then hammer the first finger. If you're not used to doing that, that's a good thing to practice straight away. It's just strumming down from the 5th string and then hammering down. You're not going to play the thinner string. So you're actually only going to strum like that, those 4 strings. I'm going to go through the picking in more detail in a sec, but let's just deal with the fingerings for the left hand first of all. Play the 3rd string, 4th string, thinner string, 4th string. Then there's this little open G string, hammer the 3rd finger down again, and then you're going to play this 2nd string. Now what that means is that you need to be able to play that open G, right? If your 2nd finger is laying down too much, you're going to go, it's not going to ring out. So you need to make sure that when you're doing all of this, that you're in a position to be able to lift that 3rd finger off to play that open string. Then we go to a C, so just 3rd finger is moving. Now this is C. Like I said, I'm going to talk to you a bit more about the picking order in a second, just dealing with the fingering first. Now there's a hammer on here. It's open G string and then a hammer on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Now this is definitely the fingering that James uses, using his 2nd finger to do that hammer on. I sometimes find it easy to use my 1st finger there. I think that's the way I learned it way back in the, when I was a little one. I lifted up my 1st finger. We don't need that 1st finger down, so we're going to play the open string anyway. I think I'm kind of mixing it up a little bit now between those 2 different fingerings, because I learned it one way, but I'm trying to practice it the right way to show you guys. I'm ended up doing both a little bit. I don't think it really matters, so find the one that's comfortable under your fingers. After the C chord, we switch to a G chord. We're going to start with the 2nd finger down on the thickest string, then 3rd finger's going to go down, then little finger. So it's this rock G. We don't need the 1st finger, so don't worry about putting that down. Well, we are going to need it in a second to go down the 2nd fret of the 3rd string before going to our E minor. G, E minor. Okay. Then open 2nd and 3rd strings, then 1st finger is going to go down 1st fret 2nd string, 2nd finger is going to go down 2nd fret 3rd string, and you're going to slide it up. So you play the open strings, and then a slide up, and we're back around again. Let me just play it a couple of times through here so you can see that, and then we'll go into more detail about the picking. So the first strum, like I said, it's only going down to the B string. Then we got the hammer on. I often rest my little finger on the thinner string there where it's not needed, keeps it nice and quiet. Definitely something to practice. Just doing the strum and then the hammer on. It's coming on the and after 1. 1 and 2 and 3. So now we're going to play an upstroke on the 3rd string, down strum on the 4th string, up strum on the thinner string, back down on the 4th string. Now here I'm doing an up pick on the G string, hammer on, and then another up pick on the thinner string. It might seem like it's not the right thing at first, but it really works well. Try it out. I think it's because you got that up pick, which is leading you nicely for the down strum for the C. Then, so the C chord, we've got a little down strum, just targeting strings 3, 4 and 5. So down, up on the B string, down on the 4th string, up on the thinner string, back down on the 4th string. We got again, up pick on the G string, hammer on, up pick on the open B. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 E and those two together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 E and G. 2 and 3 and 4 and. So G, then 2nd string, 4th string, thinner string, 4th string, then 2nd fret open. I don't know whether I'm playing the last one as an up or a down. I think an up, another up. And then we're going to the E minor, and we're playing the thinnest 4 strings. Then 4th string, 5th string, both up picks. Open 2nd and 3rd strings for the down. And then the slide again. So from the G. Now let me play that whole section for you all of the way through nice and slow. So that's pretty much it for the acoustic guitar. The electric guitar comes in, plays a really great riff, and then the acoustic guitar comes back again for another verse, and then it goes back into the heavy sections and all of the instrumental parts and the solos and all of that sort of stuff. So for that one, I think we need to change a guitar. The first riff you hear is at the end of the verse. It comes in chugging those beautiful big 8th notes, and you just know something big is about to happen. So we're starting off with the first finger covering strings 4 and 5 at the 2nd fret. It's an open B power chord. And it's just 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little bit of a build up there, chugged 8th notes. So a bit of palm muting, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we're into an A. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then it's down, up on the open E, first finger on the 3rd fret of the thicker string, little finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 to a C. And then the same again. Little riff there. C, A, D, E. So 5th fret, 7th fret, the 5th string root. There's a little, I think, an open A, da, da, C, C, G with a B bass or C with a B bass, doesn't matter which way you want to think of it, it's just a C power chord. Then first finger drops down a fret, A. Second time through. G with an F sharp bass, E, and then you're going to play an A and let that A chord ring out underneath, or you're going to go into the harmony part, which is Kirk's job, obviously. So with all these kind of riffs, again, you want to make sure that you start nice and slow, get the notes right, think a little bit about what notes are going to be palm muted, what notes are played open, making sure that the chords are clean, that you're not getting unwanted strings ringing out, especially if you're using a lot of gain. It's really easy to accidentally hit strings. So that's the kind of thing that can be learned with a bit of care and attention as you're learning things slowly. It's harder, I think, to fix some of that stuff when you learn it, if you try and learn it too quickly without being aware at least of strings ringing out, things can get pretty sloppy. So, practice it real slow. Always when you're practicing as well, make sure you're aware of the beat, especially if you're practicing on your own. It's easy to kind of speed up for the easy bits and slow down for the hard parts. Quite a common thing to do. So try and either practice with a metronome or play along with the original recording and slow it down, or just really keep aware of where that beat is. Having an understanding of like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and 4, and 1. Having this sense of where the time is. Counting along can be quite difficult. It's something that's taken me a lot of years to develop, but at least being aware of where the beat is, I think, can be really helpful. It's just genius. So it's D to E. And then another E chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then it's up to a G, which is a 10th fret, 5th string root, to F sharp, back 1 fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3. It's back all the way down to D now. This is just brilliant. 4th string, 9th fret, little finger, down, up, down. Then 2nd finger, 7th fret on the same string. 1st finger, 5th fret, same string. Down 1 fret to the 4th fret. And then there's just one note played on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Worth noting that this is and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and. That's the rhythm. And a 1. So the last pick, down, up, down, is falling on the beat. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and. With this kind of riff, again, the importance should be on the rhythm. Of course, getting the notes right, getting the palm mute on, making sure there aren't strings ringing out, all of that stuff, very important. But most important is keeping it really in time, making sure your rhythm is tight. Practicing with the original recording is a great way of doing that. I think there's some other stuff, not just the metronomic perfection of a riff like that. There's some sort of human element that we relate to, and when you learn a tune like this, by practicing along with the original recording, you absorb some of that vibe, some of the energy, some of the stuff that you can't write down. So getting the notes right first on your own, gradually developing it up to speed and getting the technique right, but then you should be practicing along with the original recording as much as you can. That riff then morphs itself into this with a little bit more chugging. So we're playing the open E string with palm mute, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and a 1 and a 2 and a 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Nothing very difficult. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So that riff's the same. The end of this song gets pretty interesting because we've got kind of basic harmonic movement, but there's a lot of tracks going on. There's at least 3, maybe 4 James Hetfield parts of a harmonized lead line, plus Kirk Hammett solo, plus some power chord stuff going on. It gets pretty busy. The power chord section, if you want to kind of simplify the harmony of what's going on there, would be a B. There are 2 dominant harmony parts, and I'm going to show them to you quickly now. It's the kind of thing that's difficult to do on your own unless you're going to use a looper or a backing track or something like that. But let me run through with you what's going on there. Part 1 will be this. So it's basically the same riff each time, but with the bass note changing. So we've got this is the B, because it's a B chord. 4th fret on the 4th string, 2nd fret. Then onto the 5th string, 5th fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret, onto the thicker string, 5th fret, 2nd fret. So the only thing that changes each time is the bass note. So the first time it's B, then A, G, A, B, A, G, A. The harmony part that would run alongside that has the same idea. The bass note changes each time. It's this. So 5th fret on the 5th string, 4th fret on the 4th string, 5th fret, 4th, 2nd fret, 5th fret on the 5th string, 4th fret, open A string. So this note here, this is the minor third of the B, so it's a B, kind of a B minor harmony. Now this note here, this is a C sharp, that's the 3rd of A, the 3rd scale degree. Here. Okay, so that's where it is harmonically, and then it's the same riff. Then it's B, which is the 3rd of G, it's a chord tone again, open B string. Then we're back to the C sharp. That's the only time it's different. And then we'd be back into the same thing. So that ending, for the last A, the last bar, 4th fret on the 5th string, 4th fret on the 4th string, 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret, 4th fret. Okay, that whole thing. So when you get those two harmony layers going together, along with the power chords, the bass parts, and the lead solo, you got some serious fat tracking going on there. How you want to deal with that on your own, I don't know. You could choose to play either the power chords or the harmony lines. Definitely, if you've got a mate that you're jamming with, it's super fun there to explore those harmony parts and playing it together at the same time. One of the things about learning Metallica tunes is that there's a lot to learn in each one. You're going to develop different techniques and your understanding of harmony each time you learn one of the tunes. This one specifically very B minor-y, uses a lot of the D major scale for the solos. If you haven't done it already, I would encourage you to have a go at learning that first solo of Kirk's from the intro of this song. It was one of the very first solos I learned on my own, and a lot of pennies dropped there because my teacher had actually been showing me the D major scale, pattern 5, this one here. And I didn't want to learn it. I didn't get the major scales. It was like all of the stuff I was into at the time was the Stones and blues, and even the metal stuff, the rock thing seemed more minor pentatonic-y. But as soon as I'd done this, I'd worked it out on my own how to play it, and all of the notes fit in that scale shape that I'd learned, the D major scale. And I was like, oh my God, Kirk Hammett uses the major scale. I need to learn the major scales. And that was a real pivotal moment for me in my development as a guitar player, because I bothered to learn all of the stuff that was important. It got me into learning scales and linking patterns up together, and it kind of made sense. The harmony made sense. I started realizing the chords in the key and that sort of stuff and how that relates. So, you know, on an understanding music level, this song helped me a lot. Technically, there's loads of stuff going on. The palm muting, the keeping the chords clean, playing with distortion. There's the difficult kind of finger picking in inverted commas part where you having to target individual strings with your pick. There's consistency, playing in time, playing things quickly. There's a lot of stuff to learn. Even if you just learnt this rhythm stuff that we've covered, James's parts, love James's feel, like he really sits back in it. So when you're practicing playing along with that stuff, like I said, playing along with the original recording and trying to absorb that, we call it a time feel, but just the feeling in it, trying to feel like you're in the band as you're playing along. There's so much to be learned by doing that. Let me know what other Metallica songs you'd like me to do in the comments. Doing this song has kind of rekindled my interest in doing some Metallica stuff. I think I've already done Enter Sandman, and I've done a couple of tracks off Kill 'Em All, I think, but I'm wondering maybe one would be a good one to do. Do I go for the heavy stuff, the earlier stuff, or do you prefer the later things? I don't know. You let me know what it is that you'd like to learn. I'd be very curious to know. If you're over on YouTube, I really appreciate you hitting the subscribe button, slapping me a like, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. You all take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.